This is Trayanne with the FRVTA, and I am here with Joey from Ocean Grove, who's going to give us some tips and tricks for setting up at the campground. Joey, thank you so much.
No problem. We're glad to be here. Thank you, guys. I'm good.
So after we pull into our campsite, Joey, what are the first steps we're going to take?
Well, the first one I like to do is get it plugged in.
Okay.
Since we're here in obviously sunny Florida, I like to get it plugged in so I can get the air conditioner on, so when I go inside, everything's already cooled down. So let's get started with that. So on this particular RV, we have a 50 amp power cord. Some RVs have a 30 amp power cord, which would be a 3-prong. This is a 50 amp 4-prong with a marine style detachable cord that we're going to hook up to the RV. On the other RVs that have 30 amp, some of them do that just because they have maybe one AC or less electrical components, but this particular one has got the 50, so I'll show you how we're going to hook up the 50 amp. We're going to take the marine style detachable part and we're going to look for the 50 amp. It's labeled right here, 50 amp power outlet. We're going to grab the female end, put it in here, twist to the right a little bit, and then tighten the locking cap, which locks it in so no moisture or water from condensation from the air conditioner or anything will get into the electrical components there. And then when I'm done with that, I like to kind of just close this hatch a little bit just to keep anything dripping from the top there or any rain from getting into our electrical connections there. So our next step is to plug in this side to the RV campground's pedestal into the 50 amp outlet, which is usually on the left hand side. So once we're installed, you want to make sure your breakers are on, and from there you should have power on the inside. So next step after turning the air conditioner on is come back outside. Before you do anything else like the slide outs, you want to do the stabilizer jacks. This coach is equipped with 4 stabilizer jacks, 1 on each corner, and they're the manual crankdown style. Some of the newer RVs have options where you can have a button on the side and they're electric, and you just push those until they come down to the ground. And then you don't want to try and level the RV with those. You really just want to stabilize it. So you're just kind of putting them down to the ground and just to keep the shaking out of the RV. So I'll go ahead and show you how we're going to put this one down with the manual crank. You put it right here on the edge, push it on, and then just crank them down. Now some RVs, if they're too tall, you may want to put some blocks or some pads down first so you don't have this jack completely extended, because then it's not really working to its full capacity. Once we get it down, we can go around and do the other 3. All right, so now we're down to the ground, and I give it an extra little crank there just to keep it nice and tight, and then we'll go around and we'll do the other 3, and then we'll go back inside. All right, so we're on to our favorite part, the sewer hose. This RV, we're going to take this cap off, hook our sewer hose right to it with these ears, and we're going to turn and twist and lock it. Push it in, turn it, and it's locked. We don't want anything coming out. The other end is going to go to the ground. Now some RV parks will have threads in it, so they give you multiple size threads here. You can take this off of the hose, put this in the ground first, and then we'll connect it back together. So this is what it's going to look like at most RV parks. You're going to see a pipe coming out of the ground. Sometimes they'll have a concrete piece around it or some kind of rocks or something like that. We're going to unscrew the cap that they have on there. That just keeps water from getting in when we're not here. We're going to thread in the piece, the 90 degree that we have for our RV. And then we're going to hook the other end of that to here. Same style twist lock that we had on the other end. Once we're in, we want to make sure our hose is nice and level and doesn't have any uphill, any parts of the hose going uphill.
It's time to hook up the fresh water. Let's have Joey show us how.
All right, now it's time to hook up the freshwater hose. Let me show you how. On the side of the RV, you're going to see a connection like this. It says City Water Connection. I'm going to pop the cap off. We're going to put the hose in, thread it on. Simple as that. The other end, we're going to hook to the campground's water source and turn the hose on. Now at campgrounds, you're going to see their pedestal like this that'll have a spigot on it. Just go ahead and thread that on there. And then turn the water on. As soon as you do that though, make sure you go inside and make sure no fixtures are on and flooding the camper or anything like that. So just make sure you check that out after you turn the water on. A lot of newer RVs are coming with a black tank flush. Sometimes they'll put it right next to the water hookup and it almost looks identical. Make sure you double check when you put the fresh water hookup that you're hooking up to the city water connection and not your black tank flush. There's usually a sticker right above it. Just want to let everybody know, be careful of that.
Thanks again, Joey, for helping us get set up here at the campground. For those of you that don't know, Joey is one of the owners here at Ocean Grove RV Resort. Joey, tell us a little bit about the resort.
Sure, Trayanne, thank you. We're a 200 site campground in St. Augustine, Florida. We've got a restaurant on site, we've got basketball, we've got a pool, beautiful pool with a restaurant right at it. We've got a bar. We back up to the Intercoastal Waterway. We're on A1A, so we're steps from the beach. If you're ever in the area, please look us up in St. Augustine, come by. I'll help you set up your RV.
Well, thank you again, Joey. It has been a pleasure. For those of you who have not already done so, please hit the subscribe button. We'll be having more videos on campgrounds throughout the state of Florida, tips, and of course, all of our wonderful Florida RV shows.